Okay, let's get started. Hey guys, my name is Wen. Today I want to talk about my first 2 weeks experience in a coding bootcamp called Actualize. So my first 2 week about Actualize experience is pretty good. So far I haven't got to a point that I don't like this bootcamp. Everybody's really friendly, everybody's very helpful, and the general environment, I just really like it. So what you need to know before this is I actually tried to join 2 bootcamps before I come to Actualize. So my first bootcamp, I don't know if you guys heard about it, is called the Coding House. They generally just literally a house that you live in there and they teach you how to code. And for me it was like pretty good concept. I like their concept very much, but the problem is after I got accepted to the bootcamp, they asked me to do a pre-work about JavaScript and HTML and CSS. That's basically what they teach you. But after I complete their pre-work, I read this review online. This guy just graduated from September 2016, and he I don't know if he find a job or not, but he actually graduated from a good bootcamp. So what he said in the review is they actually got kicked out of their house. So they have to move to a new location, which is far, far away from their old location, which is Fremont Hill. And that's where I did my interview. But they told me they were moving, but they never said they were like kicked out by the house owner, because apparently that's not legal to have 30 people to live in a big house without a commercial permit. So I quit the bootcamp and they still owe me about like $2,000 of my deposit. I mean, they're good people, but they should just get some like permit in order to like do it. I don't know if they just like lack the knowledge of that, or they just like don't care. And but I mean, they're like really helpful when I try to join the bootcamp, and they're nice people and they try to pay me back. They got like a huge fine from the court and like people suing them. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna give me my deposit back. So the second bootcamp I try to join is called the App Academy. App Academy, they teach Ruby and Unreal. Yeah, Ruby on Rail. No, not Ruby and Unreal. So Ruby on Rail and HTML and CSS. And I heard really good review about them. So and they don't actually ask you to pay for them. They only like charge like 15% of your income for the first year, which you have to like sign contract or something. But they don't ask you to pay upfront, because in my scenario I don't have the money to actually pay for the tuition. So that was pretty good. And I already for the coding house, I already began to learn about like 3 months of JavaScript. So I have to actually change. I have to redirect myself to learn how to code in Ruby, and it took me a month to actually to get the hang of it. And I also completed their pre-work. I just about to get accepted. Then turns out their July cohort is no longer available. So I have to join the March cohort, and for me it's like another thousands of dollars of living expense without like getting paid or like without learning anything by myself, or at least like just learn something. So I decided to apply for another one because all this bootcamp camp, they basically only teach this two language. It's either JavaScript or Ruby on Rails. I haven't heard any bootcamp teach like other than that. Maybe some bootcamp teach Python, but like it's just majority of them teach JavaScript and Ruby on Rails. So then I came to find the Actualize, which they used to be called anyone can learn to code. So I heard about them, and when I tried to apply for my first bootcamp, I did some research about them. There's really good reviews, and everything seems fine. But the only problem is, at that time, I want to get a full immersive style to learn code, and based on my English learning experiences, that's how you get hand of a new language. Because when I first came to America, I don't know like absolutely any English at all. Like I spent like first 3 months just to figure out like what people are saying to me. Like people just talk to me. I was like, huh? It's like this all the time. So so that's what was I looking for, at least I think so, but turns out it's not legal, so I have to change to another style. So Actualize is this part-time bootcamp. They teach Ruby on Rails, HTML, and the CSS, and I saw their schedule. They probably gonna teach a bit of AngularJS just to get introduced to the concept. Because after you just master one language, other language is just pretty easy to, not pretty easy, just very easy for them to adopt another language. So my first week in Actualize was pretty good. Yeah, and basically we just like introduced to each other, and because they do require you to do pre-work, but they don't actually check it. So some people might not finish it, because people who join Actualize, except me, most of the people who choose Actualize is because they have a daytime job, or at least a part-time job, so they cannot like fully commit their time to this bootcamp. So the first week is pretty easy. They just like get you set up and see which level you're on, and what they pretty much just get you set up and see which level you're on, and just get you like warmed up. And the second week is about actually about like actually learning something. So far we learned like basically basic Rail, basic CSS, and we did some review on the HTML and CSS foundation, and some Ruby coding, and SQL. Yeah, SQL, that's what they call it. I don't like database, but I think some people might like it, but I don't like database because there's just so much to think about, you know, like you have to go to this chart to next chart, and so on and so on. I like Ruby or like JavaScript more because it's more logic, it's more algorithm, and you have like this satisfaction when you like get the you have this satisfaction when you actually get the problem and actually be able to solve it. And even you solve it, you still have like much space just to perfect the code and make it prettier, make it run faster, and it's just really fascinating experience, just, you know, to learn the coding. So my personal background information is why I joined the bootcamp. Is because we will talk about this next time, but I just want to say that in my first week in Actualize, I really like the people, I really like the instructor, I really like the people, I really like the instructor, I really like their concept, and I'm really looking forward to learn more and get to know more. So for first 2 weeks, I feel like I have so much to learn, because when you like when you hear the instructor talking, like when you hear the teachers talking, you feel like how does she like know this much? Because I saw like I already know something, but she got like really get hang of it. She actually can like talk the concept out and explain like everything so well. So maybe in the first weeks you might get like a little bit overwhelmed, but I think you should be fine. I mean, like you absolutely gonna be fine, because they have like a TA, they have like office hour, and they have like this amazing instructor, and our instructor name is Danny. She actually she is her first time to teach in Actualize, and before this she was a programmer who worked at a tech firm. So all the instructor, I've been told all the instructor who work at Actualize is all of them is professional programmers. So you don't have like this programmer, they just graduate from previous cohort, they just came to teach you. That's not what happened in Actualize. In Actualize, they only hire like professionals who only they only hire professionals who work at in a real life experience, and so they can tell you like what you expect to do after you graduate or after you try to find a job. And yeah, so here's a few tip just to get you started on the first 2 weeks in a Actualize bootcamp. So the first thing first, this is the most frustrating thing that I have in Actualize. So so you have to have a mic in order to like to actually so you have to have a mic to actually be able to like do a like flawless coding, because everyone is using a Mac. And if you have a Windows, maybe just the old Mac, if you have Windows, it's gonna be a nightmare. So please don't bring Windows to a bootcamp. So what I'm gonna say is, if you have a Mac and you want to join a bootcamp, before you join the bootcamp, create a new user account. Why is that? Because everything you have, you're gonna install like Ruby on Rails, Bootstrap, and everything, it's gonna be installed into your user folder. So if you have like pre-work and you just try to like get everything set up, you have no idea what's going on. So before you join bootcamp, before you actually come to class, create a new user account. And in the first class, they're gonna teach you how to correctly install all these softwares. So if you don't do that, which I didn't, and most of my classmates, they didn't, it's gonna slowly kill you in every section of class. Because every time you've been introduced to a new piece of a concept, they told you to install the software first. So you install the software through command line. And if you don't have like brand new user account, it's gonna give you a nightmare. It's either it's Ruby, different version of Ruby, different version of Rails, or just command line. The problem is like everywhere. So save yourself. Just get a brand new user account in your Mac Apple. No, just save yourself. Just get yourself a brand new user account on your computer. So the second tip, I'm gonna say is try to complete your pre-work. The pre-work so far I can see is really important because I complete the previous two the pre-work as I can see is really important. So just try to complete all of them. Why? I have complete 2 pre-work on my previous application, and I have to say that helps me a lot. So you might have like gone through the frustration, just try to learning by yourself, and just try to get resource online, Google it, and you just have no idea what the solution is. The good thing is Actualize don't check your pre-work, but they do help you to finish your pre-work. And after you go through all that self-learning experience, when you come to class, you actually can appreciate when there is an instructor to tell you what to do. And if you have a problem, there's like somebody to look at it. For me, it's like I spent almost a half year, 6 months, just try to join bootcamp and just try to learning by myself, and those like two languages, JavaScript and Ruby, and I have no background on programming, and I have to say I'm not a smart person. So try to complete the pre-work. After you get through the frustration, after you get the experience by learning by after you get the experience learning by yourself, you will actually come to appreciate what you have in the bootcamp, and you will know what kind of question you want to ask when you ask an instructor. So it's not like I mean, there's no question as a dumb question, but there's question you only just you don't need to ask instructor. You just Google it, and the first web page shows on your search engine, it's gonna be an answer. Trust me, like half of the time the problem just gonna like you Google it and it's gonna solve itself. So you're gonna save you a lot of time, save your instructor a lot of time, and the instructor can teach you more efficiently. So that's my second tip. My third tip is try to manage your time. So if you have a full-time job, or you have part-time job, or you just don't have job at all, when you come to a bootcamp, when you come to Actualize, there's gonna be some problem in the time management. Some of my classmates was like clearly have no life. They tell me like after a class, it's like they have no personal life at all. This experience really like hard for them, because they like work day in day out, and after work they have to came here and have to go to home, and they have like no personal life at all, so no time to rest, and so the time management is really important. Otherwise you're gonna get like really frustrating, you're gonna be tired all the time, and your learning experience is not gonna be so good. You're gonna be confused in the class, like I haven't slept well for a couple of days, and in class when the instructor tell me to do an exercise, I was like, after like 5 minutes, like the instructor asked me like who finished step 1, and I actually just copy what she does on the screen, and I saw it was just it, and so I like raised my hand, and then she said like who finished the step 2. I was like, what? We have step 2? And so you're gonna have hard time to learn in a bootcamp if you don't have your time managed efficiently. So if you have a full-time job, and I'm just saying it based on my perspective, I think maybe the best is for you to maybe just cut down a little bit on your job before you come to bootcamp, and just gradually try to accepting pace. Don't be like rushing and everything. That's why I said in the previous step why the pre-work is really important, because the first 2 weeks the pre-work gonna help you a lot, and in the first 2 weeks it's just them try to just help you to for the first 2 weeks, they just in the boot camp, the instructor and their schedule is just try to get you to start it. So a lot of them, a lot of material and a lot of learning is just review or just update on the things you did in the pre-work. So if you did the pre-work, it's gonna help you a lot throughout, and also time management. So if you have a full-time job, just try to cut down a bit before you came to the bootcamp, so you don't like get like really intense all the time, and you really frustrated and really confused, and all the time you don't have like time to think about what you learn, and you don't have like personal life. That's not good. So time management is really important, and you have like part-time job, the same thing. If you don't work at all, even if I don't work at all, but at home I still do my exercise, and I still do my code challenge. I still try to learn the class material before I came to class. So yeah, for different scenario you have different option, and that's why I really like about Actualize. And because in other bootcamp, although they are saying that they're full day, like 9 to 5, and but like most time you're just like coding there. Like they don't actually teach you anything. They just like did their, okay, here's my lecture, and after the lecture I give you a challenge, and after the challenge, okay, you guys pair up, try to like solve it. I mean, that's good, but I mean, if you solve it early, and or you solve it early, you're just like sitting there completely wasting the time. And if you solving like you get more time, and there's if you need more time to think about it, you already like get frustrated, or you're really tired when you get home. You don't want to think about it. So I think like Actualize their like timing schedule is pretty good. It's from Monday to Thursday from 9 to 5. No, 9 to 5. It's from 6:30 to 9:30, or 6 to 9:30. Yeah, 6 to 9:30. And Sunday is full day, so you get like two days of break. And I mean, if you want to join it full time, you can join full time. But for me, I think it helps me to avoid the traffic, and helps me to get more time to work on my own, and just try to learn like the stuff they teach in class before, and I have like more time to actually solving my real life problems. And in the bootcamp, other bootcamp, you don't have like this kind of time. You're just like really frustrated, try to solve the problem all the time. So yeah, that's about my first 2 weeks review on the Actualize. So far the experience really good. I really like the people. I really like the instructor. I really like their schedule. And so far so good. And I will see you guys probably in another 2 weeks. And wish me luck. Bye bye.